Hey Zodiac, I am trying to get a better picture for live streams. I ran a dedicated cable to my router, and now I'm just kind of testing it to see if it's going to work tomorrow or if it's still going to be crap. Going to run an auction tomorrow. I'll be at the one on Sunday. I don't know. I'm not sure if there's any tomorrow. I'm doing my auction or my claim sale tomorrow, so I don't. Yeah, if I'm on Whatnot at all, it would be later. Yeah, I'll be there on Sunday. It's supposed to be. She said when I picked my books up, she said Sunday was going to be really good with a lot of 10 and 12 centers. Um, yeah, they give you a free book for every 5 that you order. But she also may have just loaded you up with because you were new. Um, they're real nice like that. Thanks. Yeah. I hope I do good too, especially after last Saturday being so ridiculous and then finding out that nobody could even see the books because the picture was so bad. I'm like, well, if I did this good with a bad picture, I wonder how good I could do if people could actually see what they were bidding on, you know? How's the picture look? Is it okay? I'm basically just doing this so I can look at it afterwards and see how it's going. Hey, Ranger. What's up, man? I ran a dedicated cable for my internet to my laptop. So I'm kind of just checking it out and testing, trying to see how, see if it's going to look good for tomorrow. I hope I never outbid you and whatnot. Feel free, man. If it's more than if it's something you want, go for it. I don't need it. I got my bank statement today, and I'm gonna basically need to really cut back on what I'm spending on comics. So, in fact, I'm thinking that whatnot auction might be the only thing I do for a while on a weekly basis until I get some get things under control. Picture looks good. Thank you. Good. Hopefully, hopefully this will do it. It's funny, when I ran a speed test, it actually came out with a much lesser speed test than when I was using the Wi-Fi. But apparently the Wi-Fi is not a stable connection and it keeps changing or something, and that's what was throwing it off. It looked like. Have you sold Savage Conan #1? Not yet. QNS is deliberating about it right now. I sent him a bunch of photos and he hasn't quite made up his mind yet. He did buy 4 of the other ones so far, but he's not sure if he wants to pull the trigger on #1 or not. Yeah, that's what I was. That's what I was just saying. Ranger is like the with this sale did such ridiculous numbers last week, uh, without you guys even being able to see what you're getting. So who knows what it can do when you can actually see the books, right? Yeah, I maybe could get more than $50 for it. I don't know. I'm not, I'm not really a seller. I just, I mean, you got to remember, I only paid $3 for it, so um, you know, it is what it is. I'd rather get a quick turnaround than sit on it. That can't be right. This. I mean, it's definitely been read, um, but it's in really nice condition. It was probably read once or twice and then tossed in there in the box. You know, the only thing I've noticed on it is there's like extra glue right here on the first page. Sorry, can't see my finger. Right along the spine where when they glued it in the printing process, it looks like some extra glue or something got on there, so you can't open the page all the way at the bottom. But other than that, yeah, it's just minor wear and tear. Little blunting on the corners because of yeah, they didn't have it in bags and boards, or they didn't have it in boards. They had it in bags, but they were just bouncing around in a box for who knows how long. So. Yeah, I would definitely say it's very fine. I mean, I'm not a grader, although I'm trying to learn. I found this in my stack of books I was clearing out the other day. So I've been looking through here, and back in the day, I could never make heads or tails of how to grade. But now that I'm dealing with all these comics and I can look in here, I have a better idea of what it all means and stuff. So I'm slowly learning. Yes, I do, Ranger. It's I've sent it to a couple people, mainly Zodiac and QNS. If you want it, I can send it to you. But it's also in a yeah, I did a video about them where I showed all the covers on the Conans that'll be coming out. I left my book in the other room, so I'm not sure when it's coming out, but it's basically a recorded claim sale. And then I'm going to have the list in the comments, and then I'll just edit that comment of the list of books. And I don't know, it's an experiment. We'll see how it works. I just pencil the number on the back of the board if it's not on the cover. Yeah, I could do that, but I tend to for my personal collection like this, I tend to double bag them. So if they're in order, that's why I have a dash on here. So this will be like 146 and 147. And then I'm trying to arrange them by year. So that's why it starts with an even number rather than an odd number, because the January issue for that year would have been an odd number. And I don't know. It's a complicated process. I'm weird. I do it different. But thanks for being here, CJ. I'm just testing my internet capabilities, basically, because my live streams recently have just sucked. The video and the audio and everything has just been crap. So I made some changes. This is actually a new overhead camera that I'm using as well. I kind of like the phone better because this seems to kind of have a roundness to it, like it's trying to, I don't know. This is what I got right here. This is the whole collection of Tom and Jerry's. This is my earliest one. It's a lot better than last Saturday. Yeah. Last Saturday was crap, which is weird because it was my best sale ever. And yeah, the video was just crap. They didn't even know. They couldn't even see what they were claiming. So and I didn't know that. You know, I don't watch them. So until somebody said something, I didn't realize how bad it was. And so yeah, taking steps to try and get it all fixed. So I'm basically just gonna sit here for like an hour and a half, 2 hours, and then check and see, you know, if the quality is still there, if the quality goes down over time, or just what the deal is. This is one I laminated the cover on because it was all falling apart. Usually, yeah, unless I got something else going on. Basically, there's a new recorded video out every day around noon, and whatever books I showed during the week, then that's what's in the claim sale on Saturday, unless I unless I say otherwise. You know, because occasionally I'll want to keep a book, and occasionally there are ones that people traded to me, so I want to keep those and things like that. But yeah, for the most part, I show them during the week and then sell them on Saturday. And then whatever's left, I get to keep. And in theory, it all pays for itself. But I've been spending so much money that hasn't been the case. I was just telling Zodiac I got to cut back. I'm probably going to only be buying on that Whatnot auction for a while. I got my bank statement today, and it surprised me a little bit. But I got boxes and boxes and boxes of comics here to go through, so I can easily stop buying for the time being and still have probably a few months worth of content at least. Spent almost $4,000 just this year so far. Yeah, I probably have too. It's just, it's hard It's very addicting, and it's hard to pass up the bargains that people are offering, man. It's just you see them, some of these books going for so cheap, and you almost don't have any choice but to buy them. Oh, I like this one. It's a nice, simple cover. Very cool. It's addicting, and yes, the deals I've gotten this year. Wow, yeah. It's you just can't stop. But I'm gonna have to, so I'm gonna force myself. Comics Embrace, how you doing, buddy? I am testing the internet because last week's sale sucked because of the bad video, and apparently a lot of my live streams have been pretty bad. So I ran a dedicated line for my laptop, and so I'm just testing it out. I was going to try and test it out privately, but then I couldn't bring it up on YouTube to watch it for some reason that way. So I think it was just recording instead of live streaming. So I had to actually go live to try and test it. Hey, we got 2 in a row. Where'd my marker go? There it is. Yeah, take PayPal, and then for those who don't want to have a PayPal account, there's also Ko-fi, and if you have them pay through Ko-fi, then all they do is deposit in your PayPal account anyway. So it's just that way they don't have to have a PayPal account. So those are the kind of the 2 you need if you want to do it that way. All right. Everybody says it looks pretty good, but not that it's spectacular. It's funny, when I did a speed test after I connected it, the speed is very slow compared to the Wi-Fi. but the Wi-Fi connection wasn't stable, and I guess that's what was throwing the, causing the pixelation and all of that. And when I was messing around with it last night and yesterday, before I decided I needed to order the equipment to run the cable, I actually like sat down with my laptop right in front of the router and the modem, and like the speed tests weren't showing it being any better. So, but whatever this software is called, StreamYard, says that it works better if it's a dedicated line. So I decided to go for it, and it seems to be working. So I think it's perfect. Okay, cool. It's a new camera too, but I don't think that made any difference. Instead of using my phone, so. So yeah, I'm just sitting here working on my collection, getting the date stickers put on for an hour or two, and see how the stream goes. Then I can go and look at the stream and see how it's ending up. If I try looking at it live on my screen now, I tried that a little bit before anybody discovered I was on, and that there's just like a huge delay, and it kept lagging really bad for me to watch my own streams. So I don't know, it was weird. Wow, this one's really beat up. This one's beat up than all the ones from the 50s and 60s. 1977. Was Jerry the real asshole, or was it Tom? I think they took turns. Well, I also eliminated one of the pieces of software I was using. I was using a software called Camo to run two cameras, but it kept, because StreamYard kept telling me I couldn't run two cameras, but I guess they just mean two cameras at the same time, because I found where I can switch between cameras. So I was able to eliminate that extra software too. So that might help some. The hit when comics don't have numbers on the cover. Yeah, that's a problem for, especially for the kind of stuff that we do. But in my case, since I'm organizing by year, I pretty much have to open up every single one anyway, unless it's by DC, because for years they put their year on the cover, which was nice. So if anybody's I don't know, curious about me or anything you want to know, just ask away. We don't on my channel I don't get a chance to actually just talk to people a whole lot. Because it's either the recorded videos or the the claim sale where I'm running the claims. So although we talk a little bit, at the end, and of course we talk in the comments a little bit, but good opportunity to ask me something if anybody's curious about anything. Pretty much only cheap ones. I mean, I've got ones in my personal collection that are worth a little bit of money, but for the most part, it's just been cheap comics, and then I sell them for $2 on Saturdays, which includes the shipping. And I mean, for the most part, yeah, I'm not really making money. I'm not doing it to make money. I'm just doing it so the comics kind of pay for themselves. I'm not usually too concerned over what one's worth. I mean, obviously, if it's something that's worth quite a bit, then I'm not going to sell it for $2. But I did. Oh yeah, Ranger. I own a whole bunch of Dell Giants, mostly Disney ones. But yeah, if I can find a Dell Giant, even if I already have it, it's an automatic grab for me. If it's under $5, it's an automatic grab. After that, I'll start looking at condition and so on and so forth. But I've back when I was collecting, I would pay up to about $20-$25 for a Dell Giant if it was one I wanted. I wouldn't do that anymore because now I can feel like I can just find stuff on the cheap all the time. But I have quite a few of the Dell Disney Giants. I especially like the ones where they go to Disneyland and even though most of them don't really have anything to do that much with Disneyland. I do not own any slabs. Nope. Not into slabbing. I keep entering the giveaway on Hip Comics, hoping that I'll win one so I can break it open on the channel. But so far, no luck. I bagged these wrong. Oh well. I assumed they were monthlies and they're not. Want to send you an AOK, but didn't want to send you one you already got. Well, thank you. if you go to my Blogspot, where I do the trading, my collection is listed on there, so you should be able to figure out whether or not I have it. The only things that aren't on there are the ones that are in transition, because I started not listing them until after the claim sales, because I was putting stuff on there and then having to take it back out and just creating twice the amount of work for me. So I actually have a whole bunch of comics that aren't in the list, but some of those are going to sell. And if there was a Dell Giant that came up, it would probably sell. Yeah, most of my collection, you can go on there and see whether I have it or not. That way you can still surprise me. Yes, I believe I do. The Dude Ranch. I'm not trying to put together any lengthy series. Well, sort of. I mean, I don't. Let's see. How do I put this? I don't. Because I've been buying so much. There isn't been anything like specifically that I've gone after. But I try to keep like what I like. So like Batman, Amazing Spider-Mans, those are pretty much automatic buys for me if I see them on the cheap. And then if I they'll go through the claim sale, and then sometimes I get lucky, they don't sell and I get to keep them. But I always figure they're just going to come around again. The way it's been going. So occasionally I'll fill in a run and so on and so forth. The Action Comics, Batman, Detective, Amazing Spider-Man, those are all ones that I will pretty much look for if I don't already have that issue, I guess. But it's not like I have extensive runs on any of them either. And actually putting together the the smaller runs can be more satisfying just because it's obtainable. There's so much that I like that I there's nearly no focus. I just like comics. So always have, always will. Oh, it's on the cover. Okay. That's cool. I'm not sure how I want to mark this one. It's they went in volume, so it's volume 25, number 2, but it's from September. Even though it's only the second number in a volume, probably because they went by school years. Hmm. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I've only found the occasional one. I've gotten a couple of them from Dr. Skull on eBay for like a buck a piece. And then there's been a couple other ones that have showed up on me in a collection or something. But yeah, they look like fun. They're interesting comics. They got some really interesting art in them, and I don't know a lot about them. Let's see, almost an hour. Oh, 5 people watching. Hello, whoever you are. When did I start collecting? Wow, all my life. I the story I tell is that I got into collecting comics. I got into comics because my brothers would not let me read their comics. So pretty much as soon as I was old enough to buy comics, that's when I started getting them. So it would have been around 75, 76 probably. Yeah, but I didn't collect them. I just bought them to read them, enjoy them, just like any little kid would have, you know. And I lost my collection in a fire many years ago. So my childhood collection is pretty much gone. And then I bought some, and then I sold some, and then about last summer, it'll be almost a year now. I think I started this channel on June 1st. So yeah, I got back into comics. I had enough money coming in. I was like, I want to get back into comics. So I started doing them. And then I started the YouTube channel, and it's just been so much fun and such a blast that I just, yeah, I'm slowly rebuilding. Yeah, not only my childhood collection, but a huge collection besides that. So, Easy, my man, how you doing, buddy? Glad to see you made it home alive. So yeah, we're just hanging out, testing my internet connection, Easy, because my live streams videos have sucked, and I wasn't, you know, too aware of that until just last week. So I made some changes, and we're just testing them out, see if people are going to be able to see what's going on tomorrow. Actually, wow, it's tomorrow morning, isn't it? Cutting it close. Finally done with extra duty. Cool. Yeah, well, then the nice thing about the the whole YouTube thing is you don't have to physically be there. You can look afterwards and still claim something if you want to. As long as you don't get first grabs, but you don't necessarily have to miss out either. So I love doing this on YouTube. People been telling me, oh, you should do it on Instagram. You should do it on, you should do eBay. You should do whatnot. I was like, well, eBay and whatnot charges you money for doing this. They take your profits away. And YouTube, you can just do it. So I honestly, I don't. I mean, I see the auctions, but I don't see anybody doing claim sales except for Mint Hunter. And I don't really understand why there isn't more people doing it on here when there's no fees involved. But that's okay. That's just leaves me with an open field pretty much. Having dinner with my mom and brothers. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. That's much more important. When does it start? Claim style starts around 12:30. I try for 12:30 is the earliest, but we come on after Comic Book Memories. So, and sometimes they go over into overtime. So it all depends on when they get done, because a lot of my viewers are watching that show, including me. So we don't always start on time. Sometimes I'll just link to their show and play their show at the beginning of my show because that's what we're all watching anyway. 2004. No, 2009. Okay. Get confused. And I'm not going to know what number that is. Supposed to be 36. 10. First week in February, so 4 in January, probably. So 35, 34, 30, we'll do 36. Sorry, just muttering to myself. Oh, this is some of those True Believers that Aaron gave me. I don't know what to do with these as far as filing them goes. I guess since they're not true facsimiles, I'm going to file them like I would any other reprint for the year they came out. The facsimiles I put in as if they were the original in my collection, but let's Stream's working great. See you all tomorrow then. Cool, CJ. Thank you. We'll see you tomorrow. Yeah, so this is basically what I do while I'm watching Comic Book Memories, is just go through my comics and put the date stickers on them. Oh, I got two of these. I can throw one in the sale tomorrow. Yeah, it's because I wanted to. My filing system is because I wanted to. Getting back into it, or trying to read stuff is hard. So I wanted to file everything by year and kind of read year to year. And of course now I'm so busy that I hardly do any reading at all, and all I'm doing is filing them. But someday. But I'm also interested in like the history of comics. So I've it's fun like comparing the years of the different publishers I've found, that like especially like when Marvel was becoming popular in the 60s and 70s, comparing to what they were putting out compared to DC putting out the same old thing basically. It's interesting, and then seeing how like during the monster fad, like even Harvey and those kind of publishers were doing monster covers, and it's interesting to me. Razor, hey buddy. Yeah, we're just testing the live stream because my video was so much crap on Saturday last week that so we're just hanging out testing the stream. I put in a dedicated cable for my laptop, and I got a new camera, and I eliminated some software, and so it seems to be holding up pretty good. Hopefully, there won't be an extra 10,000 people online tomorrow, and it'll still look good in the morning. So Ray, on your channel, you were saying that yeah, I know you got into the Dells and stuff. Um, does that mean you're giving up Batman? Just asking. Oh, I definitely think that's some of it easy. Because there are certain times of the day, and Saturdays especially, I've noticed there's a drop in my internet quality, and also the streaming for the TV, because it's all coming over the internet. So there's a lot more buffering on the TV on Saturdays than there is other days. Stupid homeowners association. Yeah, Easy's trying to get back in the groove and claim books. Uh, 33 June, published bi-monthly. February, April, June. If you want it for $100 Easy, I will sell it to you. This one needs a bigger backing board if I get one. Yeah, put in this one. Hey guys, not quite sure what's going on. My camera cut off and I can't not seem to get either camera reconnected here for some reason. Good night, Zodiac. Thanks for being here. Yeah, I don't know on Comic Book Memories what's going on there. Hmm. All right, there we are. I had to leave the studio in StreamYard and come back in for it to see my cameras again for some reason. Uh, yeah. So that's good to know for in case it happens tomorrow. I can just cut out and come back in again. Where did something go? Oh, I see what they did. Okay. Oh, yes, there is mass. And they did it upside down. That's talented. Loving the Gold Key. Yeah. The as old as I am, the cartoon comics I think are still my favorites. Mostly due to the Disney ones that I've spent my entire life reading. Really, anything, any of the older comics, anything. Uh, the older, the better, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, man, the Carl Barks Donald Duck adventure stories. I mean, they are considered the top of the line comics. I mean, the best. Yeah, they're in that category that's so far above what everybody else has done. Um, that's why they're still being collected and reprinted. You know, with libraries dedicated to them. And if you get a chance, check out the later Don Rosa stuff too that he did for Gladstone and Gemstone in the 80s and 90s. He kind of took over, where Carl Barks left off. You know, even though there was like a 20 or 30 year span in between, probably. New funnies are real good. Yeah, any of the Dell comics, any of the Dell stuff, they knew what they were doing when they made their funny animal comics. That's one of the things I was surprised at when I branched out from the doing the Disney books, is when I started reading some of the early Bugs Bunny and stuff like that, and Woody Woodpeckers, and they're just as good and entertaining as a lot of the Bark stuff is. Um, I would say the details of his work, of his art. When I mean, he had a certain style of how he would draw the ducks, and if you, after you get used to it, you can recognize it right away. But also in his adventure stories, he used to use National Geographics as references for his backgrounds and stuff. So if you look at his adventure stories, and you'll see like landscapes and stuff in the background, those were all stuff that he drew from looking at issues of National Geographic. So they're very elaborate, especially for a what's supposed to be a kid's comic book. Yeah, especially in the 60s, because as he got older, Carl Barks, he didn't put his style changed somewhat, and it more matched what the other artists were doing. So his later stories, yeah, it is a little bit harder to identify him on if you're just going by, strictly the artwork. How to tell if it's a four color issue? Most of the time you can tell just by it being a high number. Um, Once you get used to it, because like four color, went up to thousands, and back then most of the main Disney series like Uncle Scrooge, Mickey Mouse, they were only published like on a quarterly basis. So it took a while for them to get to those huge numbers. But like the first 20 odd issues of Donald Duck, they were all part of four color before, I forget the exact number. um I got an Overstreet right here. I can look it up real quick. But yeah, Donald Duck were four colors up until issue number 26. So like but they were like four color 348, four color 367, four color 408. So I mean, once you kind of learn what's what, you can kind of tell just by looking at it. Also, if you look in the comic itself, on the first story page, either in the first panel or the last panel of the story, a lot of times it will say, like for Donald Duck 4-color, it'll say like DDoS and then the issue number. Because they considered them one shots. So it was basically Donald Duck one shot, and then it would be whatever 4-color number they had assigned to it. And that's actually printed on the panel of the story a lot of the time. Yeah, that's about all I can tell. Because 4-color went up into the thousands on their numbering because they just, I don't know, they were all basically one shots and they just printed a number on all of them. And then I guess if a character got popular enough, they started spinning them off into their own series. Some of these, I don't even know why they're in my collection. Seems like they should have went into the auctions or claim sales. Probably before I started doing the claim sales, I guess. Yeah, I can find one. Hold on. All right, so this is Mickey Mouse, and it's a 4-color number 231 from 1949. And you can pretty much just tell, just from the number, it's 231. I mean, Mickey Mouse didn't have a 231 probably until way later, like 20 years later, So, and because this is a really early 4-color, it even has the title of the story in the small print. It says Mickey Mouse and the Raja's Treasure, number 231. And then over here, you're not going to be able to see it without me. Let me see if I can zoom in this camera. If I can find the right thing here. That's as far as I can get it. So in the small print right here, you can see where it says, oh, it doesn't even say Mickey Mouse on this one. It says WDOS number 231. So I guess at that early, they were just calling them Walt Disney one-shots instead of like Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck one-shots. I'm using StreamYard. And then I know you were on your stream on your video the other day, you were asking about the Dell Giants, and I tried to answer that on there, but I might be able to show you easier if I'm actually looking at it. So the Dell Giants ran from, and there are all kinds of different ones. There's Bugs Bunny Christmas Funnies that ran for like 6, 7, 9 issues, something like that. And they would change names and keep the same numbering, and they're a little bit hard to figure out without a reference like this. But there's a whole bunch of different ones, and they would be numbered consecutively for every title. But then at some point, in like 1959, they started doing them as a regular series, and they started the numbering at number 21, even though there's a whole lot more than 21 of them that were individually numbered. So it's confusing. But they're fun. They're so thick and everything with all those great stories in them. I love them. All right, we've been on for almost 2 hours, so the video and everything still looks good, guys? Yes? I don't see any lag or anything in mine. Hey, Swag. Nice to see you, man. I'm just testing out my new internet connection with because I ran a dedicated cable for my laptop so I could use it in here and hopefully without the bad video and stuff you guys been seeing on the live stream. So we're just testing it out and been hanging out. And I wanted to do a little of this to see how it looks. See if it's holding up. It looks good on my screen, but then it did most of the time, even when it was having problems. So looks great. Thank you. And Swag just sent me some books that I recorded today in a trade. but he sent me some little extra things that didn't make it in there because they got lost in the bag, and I didn't know they were there till he told me they were in there. They sent me this cool set of Snoopy stickers and this Superman sticker because they match my logo, right? So that was really cool of him. Thanks again, Swag. The movement makes it a little grainy. Yeah, okay. I was going pretty fast too. I don't normally go that fast, but I wanted to test it. So if that's all it does, that's pretty good because, usually you have to move a little bit slow in order for it to, yeah, it just kind of blurs it. I can see that just on my hand. But that's okay. That's not too bad. Swag just dropped a new video today. If you guys haven't seen it, a lot of cool books, a lot of Superman. Well, and QNS just posted a video, I think today too, of the books he got from me a couple weeks ago. So I don't know if you guys knew he had a channel or not. He's only got like 16 subscribers, so sub him up. And he does a little bit different. He just shows the books. There's some nice, relaxing music playing in the background, and he's got little pop up notes about each book, and it's very relaxing to watch. Oh, yay, my subscription count went back up to 425. I swear YouTube is just messing with me, man. It was at 427 at one point. It's been going down. And then today it was at 424. And I'm like, really? Yeah, just watching myself on YouTube. It's not as good as I was like it to be, but it's better than it was last week on Saturday. So I guess we'll have to live with it. I don't know what else I can do. Although it may just be out of focus a little bit. I don't know. Looks good on my screen, but not as good when I look at it on YouTube. Hey, Jackson. Thanks for showing up. Um, we're about ready to wrap it up. Actually, I've been testing my new internet cables. My live streams have been so sucky that I ran a dedicated wire from my laptop to my router to try and get a better connection. Seems to be working. Still not as great as I would like it to be, but not too bad. In fact, it just gave me a thing saying connection is fairly good. If you're on Wi-Fi, try plugging into your router. It says I am plugged into the router. Dang it. Although it's going through a 50-foot cord to get there, so that probably doesn't help any either. Everybody leaves when I show up. I'm sure that's not true. It does not need to be 50 feet. It probably could have been half that. Um, but I just grabbed one that I knew would be long enough. Yeah, I'm not seeing a thumbnail for comic book memories tomorrow, so they might not. They might not be on. Have a good night, Jackson. Thanks for checking in. Enjoy your food. And on that note, I think I'll wrap it up to the there I am. Ta-da! Do I look blurry? Is a William Shatner comic any good? I don't think I've ever read one, so I couldn't tell you. I have no opinion. All right, I'm gonna call it a night. Thanks, guys, for helping me check out my new connection, and I'll hopefully see you tomorrow at the claim sale. So, have a good night.